how are you? So I was going to tell you the story of pinup boarding. So it all started off about 3 years ago. I started a paddleboard company. I seen that in Canada we had a lot of growth in not only the paddleboard industry but the water industry. So I seen that paddleboards were coming into play, and no one heard about it in my small town of Sutton, Ontario, Georgina. We're about 45 minutes, an hour north of Toronto at the bottom end of Lake Simcoe. And this is the pinup story. So we started off and we brought in fiberglass boards. And like this board over here, I want to show you. This here is one of our fiberglass boards. And this was our first generation board. This was our original pinup board. And the reason I started the company was because, you know what? I love pinup girls. And it's really cool that pinup, the actual naming and what it's about is everybody can do it, and it doesn't matter who you are. You could be a pinup girl or pinup person. So I thought, you know what, everybody can paddleboard, everybody can do it. It's a sport that not only kids can do, that grandparents can do, mothers, fathers. It's great for everybody. So we went overseas, and what I did was, I didn't like 3 years ago that paddle boards didn't have much design to them. It was just a white board. It was just a colored board with a logo on it, and it just didn't seem that it had that border feeling. So what I did was I wanted to put artwork onto the boards. So this is a perfect example of putting artwork onto the boards. As you can see, you got your woody wagon and your beach and your waves, and yeah, we still have our logo, but you know what, we made it out of a picture. And this board, actually, we sold about 5 of these boards to a lot of owners of marinas that just put it in their man cave, because for the price of the board, we went for a valued price. It was cheaper than buying a big picture. So this board here was really special to me. This is my personal board, and this is the reason of why I started to build my own boards. This board here, we were at Way Home Festival, and I want to thank them very much for letting us supply the artists at Way Home Festival in 2015. We were actually behind the stage on the pond paddleboarding for the artists, so we gave them something to do while they were waiting to do their show. I was honored to meet Neil Young, and he's one of my favorites. And you know what, I didn't know he was a paddleboarder. We found out, and next thing we know it, he was going on one of my boards, and I got to meet him, and a bunch of my friends got to meet him, and he actually signed my board here if you look at the front. So that's Neil Young's signature, and that's just my signature there because it's my board. But I want to show you over here, if you want to come over here quickly. If you look down at the board right here, it's really damaged. And that's because fiberglass is very, very weak. And inside this board is a 1 pebble foam. And yes, these boards are very good quality boards, but for a family use or for somebody that's going to buy it for a cottage, it's not maybe the ideal board, because if they hit a rock or they hit a dock or it comes out of the truck the wrong way, you are going to have damage. And this board, actually, it only fell a couple feet, and now I'll never ever replace this board again. And I was actually out west in Alberta, Calgary, at the time that this board got damaged, and it really hurt me to the point where I was out there, and I said, you know what, these fiberglass boards aren't good enough for Canada. We have elements like rocks, docks, sandy beaches, yes, but our beaches have pebbles on it. So I just didn't think that these were good enough to be selling. So what I did was I said, you know what, let's make a board that is tough like Canadians. So we started this long research and development period where we actually wanted to just build a board on 5 different elements, and that's what we did. So I'm going to bring you over here to the next board, and it was the first board that we actually ever did. I just want to get my notes here so I can get back on path. So the main reason that I designed my boards was 5 things. And the first reason is durability, like I said. An example, cottage kids, surfers, whitewater rafters can hit these boards against big rocks and they're not going to puncture. They're not a blow-up board. They're not a fiberglass board. The second reason is flexibility. So with flexibility, the surfers can actually surf faster in a bigger wave on a long board because the board will flex to the curvature of the wave and it actually propels them faster. We had this proven. Brandon Taylor down in Sebastian Inlet, Florida. We went down there and we gave him one of our first boards that we ever perfected. And he started surfing it, he started paddling, and he loved it. And he has pictures of him and his kid on it, surfing actually, so go check that out on our website and also on our Facebook. Brandon Taylor, his kid's awesome. And it's really cool to see a family be able to take a board and make a lifestyle out of it. Because not only is it a surfboard, it's a paddleboard. They go fishing on it. They actually caught a big fish in one of the Florida rivers on one of my paddleboards, which was really, really cool. So check that video out as well. But the flexibility was the main thing that we were like, how much flexibility should we go through? So that was one of our research and development processes. So the next thing that we did was interchangeable colors and interchangeable graphics. So if you come over here and look at this board here, this board here has a graphic vinyl over top, and we use high quality card graphics so that they are hard to scratch. On the bottom we just keep our material so that they're very durable. You can do a full wrapped board like this one here, or if you turn around to this prototype Rockstar board, you can do a half wrap here for a lot of companies that may be a rental company or maybe a resort or a hotel that's on the water. If they want to have their names in the boards, or if they want to have something, maybe a picture of their resort, we can do that for them. Now here's another point is after the flexibility, interchangeable colors, is we wanted to go for a fair price. So because paddleboards when they first came to the market, they were unbelievably priced, and from somebody that was building them and getting them from overseas, it hurt me to see what some companies were charging for a paddleboard and what the markups really were. So we thought, you know what, let's bring an affordable paddleboard into the market. So we started off with the fiberglass. We didn't mark up as much as some of the other companies, so we made it affordable. But then we said, you know what, let's build a better board. For the last 2 years of my life, I've spent doing research and development to build this board here and that board here. And this is actually one of my first boards that we ever did. And I want to show you why I did it. So, the reason why is because I'm a Canadian and I was raised by a Canadian entrepreneur in manufacturing. And I wanted to design a board that would compete with overseas lead times and manufacturing times. Yes, I said it. I can compare and be faster than overseas manufacturing times and lead times when I have more molds. So, here's one of our first boards. This was one of the ones that was really curved. If you look at it here, it's curved as the a wake surf here. This board here flexes to the wave and it actually propels you forward faster. This board here, as you can see, it's more flat. This is a river riding board. So in Canada we have beautiful rivers all over our country and all over North America. So this is more of a river riding board. To get to this process was not easy. We started off with this one. If you look at this board here, it does not look as shiny new and as nice as the boards behind me, but this is actually the first board that I ever made. And even though it took me 2.5 years, and I want to thank Liam O'Halloran and a lot of other friends and family that have helped me get to where I am. And even though it's taken me 2.5 years to get here, I've started to make perfected boards. And that is the big thing that is exciting me for the future. So I want to actually bring you guys to one of our customers. One of them has gotten a fiberglass board, and one of them has gotten one of our newer boards. And later on, we're just going to kind of go over why maybe they like or dislike the new or old board and just some of the benefits. But here's my question to you. If you could have a board that you could drag out of your truck, drag down to the water at your cottage, isn't that something you'd want? And as well, it's interchangeable. So next year, if you want different graphics, we can pull them off for you and put them on. As well, we've designed repair kits. So repair kits are actually, if you ever get a crack or a hole, I would like you to take a picture of it, because the only thing that we've gotten a crack and a hole in our boards with is a pickaxe. And I'll quickly just give you an example here. A little hammer. That was the first board I made. You should see my next couple. So, because I designed my own products to build the board, and I designed my own manufacturing process, that's why I feel that my boards are the best for Canadians, because I have covered all 5 things that go over our Canadian elements, our price range, and our cottage goers. So I'm going to bring you out here to some customers. How are you guys?
Good. Good, how are you?
Hey, Jackson. How are you, Jackson? So, this is Chris and Kate, and they both have pin-up boards. We actually, at one of our events here in Aurelia, it was a spring boat and cottage show on the waterfront in Aurelia. We met them, and she actually got one of my boards off me last year, and she brought her boyfriend over to get another one. So she has the fiberglass board, and he has the new materials that we use to manufacture them here in Canada. So can you tell me about what you like and dislike about the fiberglass board?
Well, what I like about the fiberglass board is that it's really light and easy for me to handle, but the downfall of the fiberglass is it's so fragile. And for me, going along, I come up to a lot of docks, or if I want to go up onto shore, or even if I want to take it out of the back of my truck, I have to be so careful. Because I had it upside down one time, and it broke the top of my board on a root of a tree.
Yeah.
So I had to patch that.
Oh, was that when we did the bumper?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then
So we actually put a bumper on our board. So because of my materials are durable, we can spray it onto fiberglass boards, and we can actually create a 4 to 5 inch bumper around the board in case you're coming up to a dock or a rock. So that's what we did kind of to fix her hole, just to let you guys know. And then Chris here has the new board that we sold him there at the Aurelia show. How do you like it so far?
It's good. It's good. I enjoy it. It's good exercise. It's, you know, it's a little bit heavier to take down to the water, but it's durable. I don't have to worry about hitting things or bumping them, and I don't have to really worry about rocks.
Which
good.
we have a lot of.
Yeah, in our area, definitely.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. And then can you do me one more favor?
Absolutely.
Can you run over that board for me?
I sure can.
Everybody's got to see it. And since we're live, you might as well do it. Jackson! Give her fast. There you go. Now this board here, just to let you guys know, we've actually had this board under a car for 48 hours at the Spring Boat Show in Aurelia. We've ran it over with tractors, beat it with hammers, bats, everything you could possibly think of. And to be all honest, the only thing you could possibly see in this board is a little bit of pinch marks from tread. But as for that, you can put that board in the water and she's still floating, you're still having fun. So I encourage you guys to get involved with pinup boarding, because over the next 6 months we're going to be we've had to slow down on orders, and I want to thank a lot of people because right now we're going to be revamping and getting ready for next season. So we were only able to make 1 or 2 paddle boards a week. So if you want a paddle board this season, please get your orders in. And I really want to thank some big players in getting me to where I am today. And that would be Rockstar Energy Canada, CF Moto, ETR.TV, friends and family all over, the Rail Yard, Kawartha Boat Depot, the Toronto Boat Show, and everybody that's ever said we can do it in Canada. So have a great night, guys.